Right, so the first thing I want to go through is the plates that you'll receive, the plate combinations and the different ways you can actually use these for foiling. So inside you will get what we call the stripe, which is a very thin piece of metal. You're going to get two 3mm plates, one 5mm plate and one magnetic base plate. And the reason for this is that you would use a combination for die cutting of your 5mm and your 3mm. For embossing, you may want to use a 3mm plate or a 5mm plate, depending on how the folder is, how deep the folder is. If you're using a big die, it would be a combination of two 3mm plates. But what I would suggest is that you keep one of your 3mm plates nice and clean for your foiling. So try to use one, not for your die cutting. So that's the basic plate combination and what we receive. The first thing you're going to get in your pack, so let's go through the foiling. You're going to get the foil pen. So the foil pen is a black pen and you just activate it by pressing down and capillary action will start the ink actually flowing, and it's a standard pen. And this will allow you to foil with this. So what I'm going to do is, if I just draw a little design, I'm doing this on black so that it shows well, but I will do it on white as well. So I'm just drawing a little selection of hearts, and if you notice, I'm not quickly doing it. So I'm not sort of going straight over and writing very quickly. I want to make sure that the ink is actually going onto the paper in a nice steady flow. I'm just going to put a few dots around it, just like this. So this is the fine line. And you can write with this. And again, if you're writing, just make sure that you take it nice and slowly and that you make sure that the ink is everywhere. So I'm just drawing through. Okay, I've done this onto black. You can do it again onto white, and I'll show that in a second. But I feel this has a really, really nice impact. So I'm just leaving that card for a minute or so, just to allow it to make sure that the ink has soaked into the paper, and the ink and the pen will work on any porous surface. So now I'm going to take a piece of the foil from the actual kit. So you'll receive a gold foil within that, or a foil in there. I can't guarantee everyone will get gold. And this is the first way to do this. So you will have to excuse me, I've obviously used mine quite a lot. So you take your base plate, you want one 5mm and one 3mm plate, and your base plate goes on top. You would then take the piece of card you want to foil and place it down. You place your foil over the top, and then you use the magnetic base and the stripe to make sure that it covers the foil. This is designed to stop the foil getting stuck and heated to the machine. Okay, I will show you in the next demonstration a little bit easier way that I tend to do for this. I don't tend to do this way, but this is the way it was intended. So all we do then is take it over to our machine. Now our machine has been switched on, and it takes between 7 and 10 minutes for the machine to heat up. You'll get an immediate beep when you turn your machine on, and then you'll get 2 beeps when your machine is up to temperature. And you don't have to worry, there are no hot parts that you can actually hurt yourself on with the machine. It's all inside, so don't go putting your hand in, but we'd say that with standard die cutting machines. So all I do is place my sandwich into the machine as normal and turn the handle. And you just want to slowly turn the handle, which will mean that the foil connects with the heated roller and will help with the pressure. So we come here, we take our metal stripe off, we peel back our foil, and there we have the image that I just wrote, completely clear and beautifully foiled onto there. And we can go back over with the pen. We could colour in some of these hearts and add more, and go with a second colour of foil, because this is now fixed and it won't reactivate. So that's the book version of how you actually foil. I'm going to show you now my simpler version that I tend to do. So again, I'm going to take, this time I'll take a white piece of paper and I'm going to use the pen. So we'll pop my name and I'm going to do exactly the same. So I'm going to slowly, making sure that the ink connects, I'll write my name. And again, we'll put some hearts and we'll put some dots around it. So I'm just slowly making sure that the pen connects. It's one of those things that you can sit there and, you know, dash something out, but you want to make sure you've got nice, crisp lines running of the ink onto the paper. So if you did want to do a specific design or something more sketchy, I would suggest sketching out what you want in pencil first and then slowly going over with your pen to make sure that you've got a good connection of ink. Okay, so now I've got my section done. I'll leave it to one side for a minute or so to make sure the ink soaks in, and I'm going to change my sandwich. So I'm going to use my base plate, I'm going to use the 5mm, and I'm going to use my clean 3mm plate. I want to keep this nice and smooth. Any marks on this, any lines on this that you have can disrupt the foiling process. So we've got that. Again, I'm going to take a piece of foil that comes within the box, cut a piece off, and this time I'm going to put the foil over and I'm just going to fold one piece under. And I personally find this is a lot easier than using the strip or the stripe. Again, take this to my machine, pull the rollers in, and then just turn the handle and slowly turn the handle. It takes no pressure, so it's not like you're die cutting in the machine. It doesn't take that real hard pressure to work it. So we've gone over there, and again, take our plates out, peel our foil off, and our written design is foiled onto the card. So that is the basics that you will get in the box. There are obviously other products that you can add to your Kaleido to make it do more techniques and to allow you to stamp with it. So what you can add to it is you can have the Kaleido ink along with the blank ink pad. You can have the magic medium, which I'll be showing in another demonstration video. You can buy separate foils, and the foils currently come in 10 different colours. So the foils are available. We have a red, green, we have a silver, a holographic silver, a pink, a blue, a gold and a holographic gold. We have a rose sort of pink or copper, and we have the opalescent, which just gives you an opal shine. And that works really, really well if you want to do resist techniques. So those are the colours of ink, or foil, sorry, that are available. And we also have spare Kaleido pens, because the pen, we don't advise refilling it due to the nib. So you can buy spare Kaleido or additional pens for when your pen runs out, or if, like me, you need a spare because you lose things very quickly. So what I'm going to do this time is just show you the one thing that most people have asked about, and that is the stamping. So I'm going to bring in my stamping platform, and I'm using the Crafts2 Press to Impress stamping platform, and we'll bring a piece of card in. So I'm going to take a piece of white card, and this is standard. There's nothing special about the card. This is simply standard stamping card with a smooth finish. The ink will work on any porous surface. I'm going to take a stamp, and this is one of the 2J stamps. This is Peter's tree, which is a very detailed olive tree. If I show you here, this is actually the tree foiled and stamped in the rose onto black card. So you can see how that works. And this is something totally different. So we're just going to close that so that the stamp is connected to the lid. And we're going to take our ink. So your ink pad will come to you completely white and clear, just like this, and all you need to do is to ink up your pad. And what I would suggest is you're not going to soak your pad, because the ink can dry. So this has been a couple of days, and this has now started to dry. So all I do is turn my ink over, and almost allow capillary action to pull the ink in. I'm not squeezing the bottle massively, so I'm not actually sort of pumping ink on. I'm allowing the ink just to be pulled on. So we've put a little bit of ink on there like that. So I'll show you there. You can see the little stripes of the ink added. I'm going to take one of the blending tools. This is one of the Crafts 2 blending petals. It's a beautiful soft foam, perfect for stenciling with this. And just make sure the ink is pressed down. So it just gives it a nice little spread. This is what you would do at first. Okay. Make sure whenever you've used the ink, you put your lid on and your lid is airtight. But however, because this has got almost a solvent in it, it will evaporate. So never overfill. You want to keep the bottle to keep refilling it up. Then all we do is take our ink pad. Now normally when we're inking a stamp, we would do the cha-cha-cha and tap it on. The best way to do this to start with is to prime your stamp with a little bit of ink, and then you stamp it. So this stamp is a little bit dry. I think my pad is actually a little bit dry. I've not perhaps inked it as well. So if this happens, we'll press this down and we'll see that I probably don't get a nice crisp image. You see there, I've not got enough ink on. So all I do is just to re-ink and make sure I've got a good coating of ink on my pad. So don't worry, it isn't a one-off deal, a one-shot deal. The best way is for you to see how it can go wrong a little bit. And the ink lasts an awfully long time. I made all of my samples with just one bottle. So again, turn that over. There we go. Little rub, which just primes your stamp, and then ink your stamp as normal. Okay, place the lid on and close it, and then just stamp your stamp as you would do normally. And you can see there we've got a beautifully crisp stamped image. Okay, so then all I need to do is, again, I do this a little bit slowly just to give me almost a minute to allow the ink to settle into the paper. We're going to take the foil once again and take a piece big enough with a little bit of an overlap. And again, don't worry, because there is a technique. We don't waste any of this foil. I will be showing you in the next demonstration video how we can actually use the magic medium to use all of the waste. So I'm just folding again my piece over, bring my plate combination in. So again, base plate, 5mm, 3mm. Place my card onto there with the fold going forward. I'm then going to move to my machine. So if I'll just move those bottles out of the way so you can see a little bit better. Okay, I'm going to take that in, and I'm just going to turn the handle as I would do with a normal die cutting machine, although it is a nice easy turn, and slowly go through. Take my plates out, and again just peel off the foil, and you see there I've got the beautiful foiled image. Really simple. And the way that the ink is done, the ink is a black ink, so if you have missed a particular area, it isn't actually as noticeable, and you will get more skilled as you go along. And I've actually found that the more I've done through the machine, the easier it gets. Sometimes my first or second stamped image doesn't work as well. It's almost about learning the experience. So there I've got my beautiful stamped image, I've got the written image, I've got the written on white. So 3 basic, simple, easy steps to get the perfect foiling through your machine. And it just takes a little bit of practice to do that.